Oh, I feel the excitement. I am telling you right now, this room right here has within it the spirit of our common ancestry. I'm not talking about ancestry based upon common blood ties, common religion, common race, but it is the ancestry of spirit that connects us to that spirit of our nation that has driven generation after generation forward over what some thought were insurmountable odds, that took the very definition of America, constrained by limited minds and limited vision, and expanded that definition every generation to be more inclusive. This room right now, while the music might be a little bit better, while y'all might be dressed a little bit fancier, but think about it, this room right here has the same flourishing spirit that church basements had when they were planning and talking and plotting about the freedom of our people. Some of you all might smell really nice, but this room right here has that same spirit as dusky, smelly barns along a road that some call the Underground Railroad, who thought to expand the freedom and the liberty of fellow citizens in America. You see, this is the spirit that gets me excited. It is this unconquerable spirit that when some of us in our nation were told, you aren't good enough, the spirit stood up and said, yes, I am. It is the spirit. It is the spirit. Long before anybody put a political slogan on it, that when this spirit was told that you cannot do it, this is the spirit that stood up and said, yes, I can. It's the spirit that when we were told to take seats in the back of the bus, push their way not to the front, but into the driver's seat to move along the road of freedom in America. This is the spirit in this room tonight. Y'all should feel it. Somebody should recognize. This is the spirit that when folks tried to saddle them with shame, tell them that they were less than human, this is the spirit that stood up and said, you may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may trod me in the very dust, but still I rise. This is the spirit. It's the spirit of a sojourner truth, that in the face of people that tried to deny her rights, her legitimacy, her personhood, her citizenship, stood up with a clarion call to the conscience of our country and said, look at me, ain't I a woman? This is the spirit. It's the spirit that even those founding documents talked about all men created equal. It's the spirit of a Susan B. Anthony, who stood up before folk and said, it says in the Constitution that we the people, not the male citizens of our nation, but we the people, all of the people, in order to form a more perfect union, made this country what it is today. This is the spirit. And this is the spirit needed now more than ever. Because there's still folks that want to say you are less, and we in this room must ignite the spirit that says, I am more. There are still people that want to deny the existence, say that you are some anomaly or some psychological condition. But we are the ones that must say, like the spirit of our ancestors, I am black and I am here. I am Polish and I am here. I am Irish and I am here. I am Jewish and I am here. I am gay. I am transgendered. I am queer and I am here. Get used to it. The echoes of our ancestors cannot be muted in this cause of justice. The call to freedom is still loud and hard because we still live in a nation where some people want to deny the rights of others. We still live in a nation that Jackie Robinson spoke of so eloquently when he said that the cause of America is that everybody who is an American should have a first-class citizenship. This is the United States of America. It's not United Airlines where there's first class and coach. This is the United States of America where every citizen should have equal rights, equal citizenship under the law. We have a mission, and we must call forth this spirit. More than ever before, there is an urgency now. Some folks might feel weary because the road to freedom has never been an easy one. Some folks have scars on their backs. Some folks have pain that still aches in their soul, but we cannot stop. You see, James Baldwin said that human history is a perpetual testimony to the achievement of the impossible, and the impossible dream of America must drive us forward. We must not fail now. When other people want to drive us to despair, we must be the hope. When other people want to drive us to doubt, we must be the faith. Because I've learned this from my family and my parents and my grandparents, that when folks try to tell you you're lesser, when one person stands up straight and strong, they lift an entire nation. When one person defiantly refuses to be relegated to first, second class, we all are elevated in the class of our citizenship. You see, this is what everybody must understand. You cannot deny the rights, freedom, and liberty of others without diminishing your own. This is what we must understand. That what King said from a jail cell in Birmingham rings true for all of us. He said so eloquently that we are all caught in an inescapable network of mutuality, tied in a single garment of destiny, that injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. And so, I get in weird conversations with my friends. Why are you always talking about gay rights? I said, I'm not talking about gay rights. I'm talking about human rights. I'm talking about my rights. I'm talking about your rights. And you need to understand something. This is what I was taught in my childhood days from parents who understood their own history and that spirit of ancestry that we all share. This is what my parents told me. Son, never forget that we need each other. That you have to understand that you here are a result of a community of courage. You are the result of a mob of hope. You are the result of a conspiracy of love. My father told me that he was a young boy who was born poor. My father has a way of exaggerating, so now he will refuse to say that he was poor. He now tells people I was Po, P-O. I couldn't afford the other two letters. I was just a po boy. He says, son, when my mama couldn't take care of me, it was that community of courage. It was that hope mob. It was that conspiracy of love that looked at me as their child. They didn't look at my race, my gender, my orientation, my religion. They saw me as one of their own and made sure that I had food on my table and a roof over my head. When it was time for me to go to college, people knew that the most valuable natural resource in that community was not oil or gas in the ground. It was the genius of children, and folk put dollar bills in envelopes to help me go to college. When in college, my mom and dad told me stories. They didn't just tell me stories. I had the privilege of being the commencement speaker for my mom's university on her 50th reunion. And this is the frustrating things about mamas. Is my mom looked at me and she had the dinner before the speech, and I don't know what it is about mothers that you could become a grown man at 40 years old and you could be the mayor of a city and they still treat you like you're 12. She said to me in that dinner, "Come here, boy, come here," and started pulling me around by her hand, and I'm like, "Oh, Mom, I'm a mayor, Mom. You're ruining my image." And she took me from table to table. And she said, "You've got to meet these folks. This is the person that ran our voter registration drives. This is the person that led the boycotts of the stores that weren't serving blacks." It was almost like she was saying, "Pay attention, boy, pay attention. This person fought for you. They struggled for you. They sacrificed for you." This wasn't about black voter rights or black civil rights. This was about American rights, about human rights, about the rights of a citizen of this nation. As I got older, they reminded me of the clear truth. Marching in Selma, marching in Birmingham, marching on Washington, there were blacks and whites, Latinos and Asians. There were Jews and Christians and Muslims. There were gay folks and straight folks all marching for justice in America. And they told me that you need to remember this. From the beaches of Normandy, where there were black folks and white folks and straight folks and gay folks, you need to remember this. When people were fighting to expand the promise of this country, it took everybody involved because we knew we were all in it together. That deep and real African proverb was clearly true in our history that says if you want to go fast, you go alone. If you want to go far, you go together. And so now, it's time we go together. Because the dream of America is still just as urgent. The injustice in America is still just as real. We are not finished with this nation yet. The words of our founders, liberty and justice for all, are still aspirational as long as there is a person in this country that does not enjoy the same rights as their brother or their sister. When it comes to voting rights, when it comes to marriage rights, when it comes to civil rights, when it comes to Social Security and tax law and visitation and adoption, as long as there are two classes of citizenship, we have work to do. There is an urgency. This is a mission. It's not a gay mission or a straight mission. It's not a black mission or a white mission. This is the American mission. And the front lines of this battle are not clearly demarcated on any map. They run through neighborhoods and towns all over this nation. As long as there are children in pain in their own neighborhoods and communities, reluctant and fearful just to tell the truth of who they are. As long as there are two people in love that stand before God and their fellow man, but yet cannot declare themselves married just like their brothers and sisters. As long as this humiliation is heaped upon people who refuse to be victims, know they will be victors, we have work to do to get to that point. This is the call. I tell you, I see this in New Jersey. In my state right now, we're battling in that trench. New Jersey, like every state, is a front line to this fight. But I am a prisoner of hope. I know what my history shows me. That no man, no person, no people, no organization can stand in the way of this country as it marches to freedom, opportunity, and equality. And I'm going to declare right now that the state of New Jersey, with all the fiber of my being, with my allies left and right, that we will ensure that marriage equality is signed into law in the state of New Jersey. And when that bill is signed, I may have a very good seat for it. And so I want to end with a call to my countrymen. I want to end with an appeal to our common ancestry of spirit. I want to end, as my ancestors did, with a firm demand and a common conviction conveyed in spirit and in blood and in sweat and determination and relentlessness and an indefatigable resistance against all oppression. I want to end with what my parents tried to teach me every single day, not just with their words, but with their examples. My mom and dad would put my brother and I to bed at night, and they would read to us stories from our ancestry about champions of American history, about the great men and women from all races and all backgrounds who afforded me the privileges that I did not earn. My parents would tell me, son, you drank deeply from wells of freedom and liberty and opportunity that you did not dig. You eat lavishly from banquet tables that were prepared for you by your ancestors. My parents would tease me and say, son, you have a choice in life. You can just sit back consuming all that was put before you, getting fat, dumb, and happy. Or you can let these blessings metabolize in your body and fuel you forward. They wanted me to understand that the democracy I enjoy did not just happen. As King said, change does not just roll in on the wheels of inevitability. It must be carried in on the backs of soldiers. They wanted me to understand that all who have the privilege to call themselves Americans have an obligation, because this democracy is not a spectator sport. That the music, the anthem of our country, when it plays, you got to get your back up off the wall and get into the game, get on the floor and do your work in the cause of liberty, because it is never done as long as one person is denied the rights that you aspire to enjoy. And so, my parents would read to me the words of a Thomas Jefferson, the writings of a Frederick Douglass, and the poetry of our ancestors. Allow me to take a liberty today that I have taken one other time, and that was at the Democratic National Convention. I was so energized to be a part of a convention that was historic in first recognizing within its platform the truth that I had felt in my heart for my life, that we must recognize the equal rights under the law, the 14th Amendment, in every area, including the right to marriage. I'm so proud of my president for all he's done in this cause, and I will work until the last hour to see President Barack Obama reelected. I stand with Obama because I stand for equality. Whether it is a woman's right to make the same money when she works the same job as a man, or whether it's somebody to serve in the military, no matter who they are, no matter who they love, if they have courage, if they have commitment, and if they have the capacity, I want them out there keeping America safe. And so as I stood there in North Carolina, I recited the poem of my childhood. And I'll recite it now, taking a liberty, if you may, to change one word that you will recognize when I do. It's a poem by a hero of mine named Langston Hughes. My parents read it to me by my bedside for the first time, and it ends like this. It says, "Oh, let America be America again. The land that never has been yet, but yet must be. The land where everyone is free. the poor man, the Indian, the Negro, and the LGBT. Who made America? Whose sweat and blood, whose faith and pain, whose hand at the foundry and plow in the rain must make our mighty dream live again. Oh yes, I say it plain. America never was America to me, but I swear this oath, America will be. My brothers and my sisters, my soulmates of spirit, it is now time that we go out from this place again and wake up the spirit of our countrymen and women, that we tell them that we are here to help you remember from whence we came. We are here to let you know that all of us hold these truths to be self-evident. We need to wake people up and let them know that we are one nation under God, indivisible. We must wake up the spirit that recognizes that all people are created equal and endowed by their Creator with inevitable and rights. And the most important of those inalienable rights is the right to say, I am an American and I enjoy true equality under the law with my brothers and sisters, that we are all first class. And the campaign that we talk about will continue until that day becomes a reality. Thank you very much.